Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here again with you all on the Monday. Give me a 5 if you all can hear me. And then we can start off. Let me see. We're here with Loyal to the Foil.
Hello.
Love that name. I love that name.
Always
So,
loyal to the foil, man.
yeah, always loyal to the foil. You guys in there? Because I don't see any movement in my chat.
It's just now loading. It looks like
There we are. Okay,
I'm seeing the
everybody.
same thing.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you all. And thank you, Alara. Hey, Katspotter. Question everything. Hello. Love by the Moon. Adam, Hug Pug. And my miracle girlie is there. They all in there. Glad to see you all, Rod Cook, and Regina. Great, Laura. Hey, Laura. So today, I want to just celebrate a female power, and well, let's first start with the good news that hi, James and Donald. Let's just start with the good news that Punisher is awake and well,
Woohoo!
and well, he's recovering now. Hey, KB. And so actually I wanted to talk about how I met Alara through the Punisher, so I have him to thank for that. And from there everything went rolling on, and so we have this awesome group of women, and I love you all so much, and I want to thank you all for always having my back, for being there for us, for everybody, for each other. And well, I'm very, very grateful for that. Today is the day of gratefulness, and
Every day.
every day it is, but today's special gratefulness day because Miracle Girlie made a tweet about that. I like that a lot. I have to thank Love by the Moon as well for all her support that she gives, and Alara, and well, actually, I'm going to name you all. There you go. Julia for her amazing support and humor, sense of humor. Judy, actually, you guys all have a sense of humor. Kate Awakening, and then there is Kathy and Kathleen. There's Kathy Wanderlust, Kathleen, Love by the Moon, Brooklyn Way, and I don't want to forget anybody. Brandy, of course, Sweetheart, and Rook, that beautiful, gorgeous woman. And then there is, well, I said Laura already. Princess Palm Beach always cracks me up. Christina Love, I love you, girl. And then there is Yolanda, who has a timeout for a month. She's been unplugged.
Uh-oh.
There's Ursula, and well, who else is there? There is Jenna J, obviously, and I think I had them all. Now, did I miss
Quite a
somebody?
crew there. You got
Yeah,
quite a
yeah,
crew going on
yeah.
there,
It's my
right?
posse, my sisters.
I see.
Yeah, and you obviously you're there.
I'm
And
here.
hey, Chris R. Chris R is a sister too. Hello, and there's Mr. Fox. I'm so happy to see you all. So I was going to say yesterday I watched the Space Force news of Alara and
Woohoo!
Loyal to the Foil. They are doing that on 1 foot in 5D. And while I'm at it, actually, let me throw the link in because it's very important people go watch it. It's freaking amazing. I love it. We needed that. We need space news. We need space weather. Well, that's me coming
It's
in
coming.
later.
It's coming.
That's coming. Here you all go. That's the video of yesterday. I will share, my mods can share it. And so, yeah, that was awesome, awesome, awesome. So tell me, how did you met Alara?
Oh, she found me on Twitter. I was doing this is a long time ago too, like almost 2 years now, but I was doing threads on John Here to Help. I don't know if you're
Yes,
familiar with him, our
yes.
little pink pig friend. And we talk quite a bit, and so he let me go ahead and make some threads on just different things we were talking about, and everybody wanted to know about the political stuff, but of course I'm a little bit off, so I wanted to talk about science and space and weird theories and where I think this is all ultimately going. And I got a lot of good feedback from him, and he let me kind of edit it together into some threads, which were pretty interesting. And she had some questions, so she came to me directly, I think possibly via Texas White Hats, but I'm not 100%
Okay.
on that. So yeah,
Wow. Okay. And how long? Well, how long is that ago?
maybe 2 years now, a year and a half.
That
I don't know.
long?
Time is always starting to run together now. Yes.
I forgot KB. KB, my girl. Sorry, I forgot you in my list of women. And Patricia, Patricia. Sorry, I've. And there is Wanderlust Kate as well now, and Karen is in there. Sorry, I had to. I just saw it now, and I forgot about that. Anyway, so oh, Navy vet is there, vet, and so now you started the Space Force news with Alara, so you both are very in sync with that. You both have your different angles, and
I think
so
we're kind of in sync with each other. As a matter of fact, she just said she was asking me about satellites and ships. It's always something with the space anyway. So I mean, we vibe. I think we have a good relationship. We have good friendship. You know,
yeah.
we can
Well, I
play off
met
of
you
each other,
through
and it
her.
goes well. Yes, you
I
did.
Yeah, and we had a talk about of a while because, and we had a lot of laughs about, well, also your travels. And so,
Oh yeah,
hey, there is Leonidas. I see. That's far. Oh, we're gonna have a show. Well, show. We're gonna have a stream from Amsterdam Center, by the way, right,
sounds like
Leo?
a awesome plan. I'm down to watch that.
That's gonna be fun. So, tell me what your life was like. Like, what have you done?
I've been all over the place. I mean, I'm from New Orleans originally. Clearly, that's not where I'm at now. I'm on the Discovery, apparently, probably in low Earth orbit since Alar's busy today. But I've been all over the place. I mean, I've traveled all over the United States, and I've been to Canada and Mexico. I lived in Jordan for a while, but I just I wanted to see everything. I'm a nerd, so I want to learn everything. I want to see everything. Any kind of information that I can consume, I make it a point. You know, even if it's just the most basic facts about something that somebody else might think is trivial, I want to know. I make it a point to seek it out. And so I wanted to see things too. And that's, like
Yeah.
I said, I've been all over the place.
Wow. And you've been to Petra?
No, Petra was awesome. Yeah, I lived in Jordan for a while in like 2014. It was a crazy time for me to go over there. I'm one of those people that like whenever something sounds like a great fun adventure, even if it turns out to be a terrible idea at the end, I always think it sounds like a great idea at the time and I go. So
Well, that's how it works, right?
yeah, I'm down for adventures of all sorts. So I went overseas, and I have really close friends that were in the city that I was living at, and turns out the guy, I mean, his family has an entire little village off of a city called Mataba, and so I lived there for a while. But it was at the time that there were, Obama was drawing his, theoretical line in the sand over Syria, and so there was like a flood of Syrian refugees, and it was a really crazy time to be over there. But yeah, I got to go to Petra, which if you haven't ever looked at it,
Wow.
I know you have, Dutch. We talked about it, but I mean, it's an awesome place. They've got a whole city carved into the side of rock, and
Yeah.
I mean,
But is
yeah,
it like,
wonderful.
do you think that's like for giants? Because it looks like,
Man, doesn't it look like it? No, you know what I
oh,
think? And I think kind of along the same lines as the cities in the American Southwest, and I may be wrong, but I want to say the Anasazi maybe tribe, or maybe the Pueblo. I'm not 100% on that, but I think personally that they put those cities in the side of those mountains because they're not viewable from above, oddly enough. And I don't know if Laura and I have had that talk, but
oh,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems to me
yes.
that would be a really logical reason to put cities in the side of a mountain. I mean, not only for three-way protection. I mean, you've only got one angle exposed, but also because from the
Yes,
from
from the
the view
top.
from
But
above. Uh-huh.
also, we also know that obviously those kind of structures usually keep very cool, and
Oh yes, they do.
in these warm places where it's really hot, they have a lot of those kind of structures, not as beautiful as Petra, but
Yeah,
the
well,
idea.
they're a lot of them are very intricately detailed. I mean, you could tell there was a. I mean, even after the weathering, after thousands of years, you could tell that there was a lot of care put into the construction of those places, and there's a lot of history there, and the energy there is just
Yes.
phenomenal. You can feel it radiating.
Well, the Middle East, in any case, has so much, history, and I know that
Oh, I loved it.
the war of what in Iraq and Syria, they destroyed so many,
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of places that were
architectural.
completely leveled. Yeah, well then ISIS was making it a point, not just ISIS either. I mean, but they were desecrating tombs and stealing monuments and just destroying history for the sake of destroying history so that
Yes,
it couldn't be used to co-sign anything that was against the Quran or that was against their traditional view of what should have or what did historically happen. Like it's kind of crazy. I mean, they looted and pillaged some of the most valuable places that we had on Earth.
yes, yes, and that happens now in sort of in the same way here in Europe.
Yeah, well,
Well,
there definitely was at it here for a while, but hopefully that's going to be done and
well,
over
yeah,
with.
but so how long did you stay over there in the Middle East?
I was over there for 6 months and I got to see a lot of cool things. I mean, I went to Mount Nebo. I got to go to the Dead Sea. I got to go um, Amman, which it's kind of crazy. Like, I'll just tell a couple. Like, clearly I'm an American, so I go overseas and I'm doing like really American shit. Like, there are just things that I
Where's
knew.
McDonald's?
Yeah, no, they do have. They had listen,
Of
they had
course.
Pizza Hut, they had, but I mean it wasn't the same, but it was there. It was kind of weird to see, honestly. Just like
Yeah,
Americanization of places that I didn't expect that in. But
it's everywhere. It's
yes.
everywhere.
Like I intellectually I know that it's there, but to actually see it juxtaposed next to things that
Yeah.
have probably been there for the longest, it's a really weird
Yes.
it's a really weird placement to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it's
very traditional there still too. I mean, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Those are people that are rooted in their culture and rooted in their traditions and in their values. I mean, literally the women still walk paces behind the men. They are still out there. And even though Jordan is a US ally and
Yeah.
very forward thinking as far as technology and politics and things go,
Mm,
uh culturally they have segregated restaurants. When I say segregated, I mean women and men. Like,
yeah. What?
listen, right? This is crazy. I smoke shisha hookah, like the molasses covered tobacco, and when I was over there, that's like one of the, I mean, that's something that you do like, I don't know, we were doing almost every night. We'd go and there were a couple places that we were really nice, like cafes that had nice balconies overlooking the city or whatever. But when you go to a place like that, they have it where like men have their area and then there's a separate, like a family where women are admitted or children can come, like not in the middle of the night or whatever, but like a separate area for women and men to go together, I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy. I went to a wedding there. The wedding was entirely separate. The men
What?
had their, listen, the wedding was entirely set. The men had their little party. I don't mean the actual nuptial ceremony. Like,
No, no.
but even at that, it's still
Yes.
very divided. There's no
Yeah.
interaction. And the women had their little thing that they did, which was totally weird to me. And the
Well,
men, they're out there shooting off guns like, they
yeah, they're
fire.
Middle East, yeah.
Yeah, they fire. I mean, in celebration, listen, they
Yes.
were firing their guns for funerals, for weddings, for voting when their candidate got elected. Like it was just, and I'm like, you guys know that
And
that
they
shit
shoot like if
lands
you
somewhere. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, not little guns. I mean, yeah, sometimes, but a lot of them have, automatic rifles, and they're out there firing away. And I'm like, that comes
I
down at
mean,
some point. Like,
and then you're American, so you know you're used to weapons, but
oh
like
yes.
somebody from Europe isn't at all. So if you go there, I mean, that scares the shit out of me if somebody would do that.
Listen, I've lived in some crazy places and it was still kind of a culture shock. The way, I mean, it's just there is no need for like open carry or concealed carry because you just carry. Like there's no
Wow.
question there. And then I mean, personally could appreciate it. Like I was fine with that. I'm fine with it here. But it's still very different.
So how was that for you as a woman to be there? Because
Oh,
uh,
not just a woman. I'm a very clearly outspoken, right? And it takes a lot to tame me. And it's good that I was there with friends, like people that were friends that could kind of had my back, guys,
okay, yeah,
like, you know what I
then
mean?
we're from
Because
there.
yeah, because
Yeah.
and even though like I have a bachelor's degree in anthropology. So in my head I'm telling myself I'm going over here on this great adventure. I'm going to learn some things, whatever. I knew in my head that there were still, I mean, a lot of the women still wear, hijab and full burqa, and it's 100 degrees outside in the sun, and they don't speak unless spoken to, and they walk behind the men. Like it's very, very different for me. And then
Yeah.
I'm out there just, I engage with anybody. If I want to say something, I say it, like I could see that there were times that caused somewhat of a problem as well. So
Wow.
it was different.
Well, Navy vet here says the same way in Kuwait. I was there in 92 and we were told not to look at the women because if the husbands
Yeah.
look, they would beat the wife up. That is something that
No,
I
he's
never
right.
understood. Yeah, I know
Or she,
this
he, or
because
yeah, it was,
it's okay. So a man can do whatever they want, but at all times the women will be punished for it. Now I'm partially Indonesian, and obviously that's the biggest Muslim country in the world. And however, in the time that my grandparents lived there, it wasn't that Muslim that big, and so that was different, and all religions were mixed. And now I came into Indonesia, and it's like complete Muslim all over,
oh,
and except for
yeah.
Bali that is Hindu. And so I prefer going to Bali, and the smaller islands. But in some it's like, there is such a difference if you're like in Lombok, for example, which is by airplane 30 minutes. Like these islands are next to each other almost, and so you're in Lombok, and there it's like mosques everywhere. You can see the men really looking at you in a way that is actually scary. You go to Bali, it's a complete different world, you know.
Right.
And but yeah, that's how it is. So I do know something about it, but it wasn't that extreme as it is,
Oh, listen, I
you
got
know.
two good stories for you. So, like I said, I'm loud, and there was at one point that we were out on the street, and I told you there were refugees coming in, and what we see in our heads as Americans when we picture refugee camps, that stuff is a palace compared to how these people were living. Like outside of my building, there was like a field. When I say field, I mean dirt and sand, compressed dirt and sand, not field like with grass, flower. No, not like that. There were kids out there with no shoes. They weren't people that didn't have any people sleeping just on whatever they carry. They carry these mats, like even in the homes. A lot of them don't have
Yeah,
traditional beds. They have those mats. So they were sleeping on these mats, like out exposed to the elements. Some of them didn't have food or water. Well, I was at an ATM getting money, and a kid came up to me and approached me, and I knew what they wanted. I mean, like,
yeah,
they, and I'm okay with that. So I go to give the kid some money. It was a little girl, and my my dude starts yelling at me, like, yelling. And so then I'm like, man, I know, I start yelling back at him, right? Well, long story short, in the end, me yelling at him had caused kind of a commotion on the street
oh
because
my
we were
gosh, yeah.
I didn't even think about it. And I'm out here, don't tell me what I'm about to do. This is my money. If I want to give it away, I'm gonna give it away. Like I'm yelling, whatever. He finally he realizes, and he looks at me, and I could see the look in his eye, and I just shut up. And he grabbed me. He was like, "We have to go now." I said, "Oh man, great." I said, "All right." So I was quiet. We got in the little cab thing and went back to the apartment. He was like, listen, he was like, I'm cool with you. He was like, but these people, he was like, these other people, they're not going to have any understanding.
No,
Right.
no.
And I'm gonna
They
tell you
will.
another crazy no, and like I could see it in his face. I knew I needed to stop immediately. And normally, with my personality, I probably would have turned around like, what, what are you looking at? Mind your business, whatever. There was none of that day. I shut up. I got in the car. We left, and he told me, he was like, listen, he was like, that could have went all bad. I said, oh man, okay, all right, like I feel you, I got you.
Well,
So go ahead.
Gone, gone.
You know
Well,
me,
no,
I'll ramble.
I was thinking of some similar story that happened for my friend who went to Tunis with his wife, and so they climb up a mountain, and the men help the guy, help the friend, but not the wife. She has to do it all by
You got to
herself.
climb that mountain on your own, lady. Right?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
that's like.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
by the way,
Well, they
hybrid. See
probably
there.
weren't able to they probably weren't allowed to help her. They can't touch
Yeah,
her
that's a
to
good
help
point. Yeah,
her,
yeah.
you
Because
know.
they see that he is obviously, the guy. So they treat the woman the same they would do it in their
Mhm.
own country. So that would probably be the same thing. Just want
Yeah.
to say hi to Brad. Hi, Brad. Nice to see you. So, yeah, and so what's the other story?
So I was staying in Mataba, but when we would go out to the village where, I mean, the entire village was his family. And it's crazy because the guy I was with, I've known for probably 20 years. And he owns like some drive-throughs, like where you go, you drive through like drive-through stores where people go buy like blunts and beer and whatnot. And they live very frugally here. But when I got over there, he had saved up his money and basically built his parents like a palace. I don't even know how to explain it. Like sweeping marble staircases and
Right.
like groves of like fig and olive trees, and it was beautiful. But in any case, they had housekeepers. Oddly enough, one of the women was from Indonesia, and I didn't know this at the time. But apparently, when they bring these people over, they take their passports. Like it's a type
Wow.
of indentured servitude of sorts. Like they
Like,
the yeah, like they take their passports. The women can't leave, and I don't know who would sign up for that or think that that sounds like a great plan, or if they even know when they get
exactly.
on there. But like
Yeah.
what when I realized what the situation was, I felt really, really bad. And I try to be nice to the girl. Well, it turns out she had found a boyfriend, fallen in love with somebody or whatever, and she ran off one day.
Oh,
Well, man, listen, it was all bad. When she ran off, the whole the males from the village
yeah.
went to find her. And when she came back, she she had black eyes. They had beat her. And my dude said, if you weren't here, they probably would have killed her. And not that I did anything, but just my presence, my
Presence.
recognizing that she was there, whatever, and that I would have noticed had she just gone missing.
And you
And I
cannot
said,
do
"Oh my God, I
anything.
can't even. Can you even imagine? I can't even imagine that.
Well,
Like
I've
it.
seen obviously the servants having servants is in Indonesia. I do have family, and I hate it because for me that for me there is equality, and I don't like people having servants. Obviously, my grandparents had them, but they were always so respectful with servants. It's not like a servant; they're part of the family in that way, right? This is why they loved working at my grandparents' house. However, other family that actually always lived in Indonesia, they will treat 18-year-old girls, like trash. And I would come there and I had my big suitcase, and this little girl had to bring it up, and I said, "No, no, I'm going to do it." And they didn't allow me to bring it up. And I was furious. And there was somebody else with us that she's like a sister because my grandparents took her in when she was 9 years old, where she then took care of my grandmother and also my sister, because my sister would live there at the time. And so, and then she would come with us because she grew up, and then she became, later on, now she's my brother's wife. However, she because she used to be a servant, she was not allowed in the house, but she had to travel like 2 hours back. And I said, well, I don't care if you're my family or not, but I'm not going
Right.
to accept this. I just cannot accept that. That is like degrading, and
It's anathema to us.
but
Like it,
now she's my brother's wife, and now they cannot do nothing because now she stands above actually
right?
that family. So now she cannot be seen. Obviously they cannot say anything about it, but now that she is my brother's wife, they have to treat her as an equal. But you can see that they actually have to do freaking difficulty to treat somebody like a human
Mhm.
being and equal. The fact that you pay them, it doesn't mean you have to treat them like trash. And
Right.
I just can't stand it. I just cannot handle stuff like that at all. I probably couldn't have servants anyway because I would do it all myself anyway because I feel sorry for them or
Yeah,
something.
I no, I agree. It was definitely weird for me. And
Yeah.
and not even just her story specifically. I mean, that was atrocious
Well,
as
that
far
that
as I was
was
concerned. That was atrocious. And I understand that this is actually fairly a common thing. Whether these women are doing it and they know what they're doing, or whether they think they're going to get there and be able to work and save money, pay their debt, and then leave. I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, it was definitely a culture shock for me. There was a lot
yeah.
of things that were weird. I mean, that I didn't really put a lot of thought into before I left to go over there. Um, Little things you wouldn't think of, like, all right, here in America, I know that water in a lot of places in the world is a true commodity. You
Mm,
know, um, well, in Jordan, which is clearly a desert, water takes on a whole new level of importance. And I'm over
yeah.
there doing things like, leaving the water run when I'm brushing my teeth, or
Yeah.
separating my clothes,
Yeah.
showering twice a day because it's a sandy desert and I want to get in the shower twice a day. Well, the first week I was there, um,
You learn
it
quick,
was
yeah?
probably Wednesday night, and I went in there for something to get in the shower, I think, and the water didn't come on. And so I go out and I'm like, hey, I'm like, the water's not working. He said, oh, we must be out. I said, what do you mean out? Like, it didn't click to me. I'm like, what do you mean out? You better call somebody, tell them to come fix it. Like, that's crazy. He said, no, no, he'll be here Friday. I said, what do you mean he'll be here Friday? I said, what am I supposed to do till Friday? What are you talking about? Right? Turns out they have cisterns on the tops of their buildings where they get a certain amount of water every week,
Yes.
and you have to make that work. I mean, I learned real quick, like I wasn't doing all my clothes went in at one time. Like, I understood that if I might as well just shower at night and wait, because there wasn't gonna be any of that two
Well, I
showers a
know
day
this
stuff.
from Spain already that when I was young, because my grandparents lived there as well, and so we would go there on holiday in summer, and they had like their own water tank, and so but
Hmm.
we were in an apartment that was rented, and at a certain hour they close off the water, and then somewhere in the morning very early they will put it back on. And so we were in an apartment like I think 5 stories high, and in this village in Spain. And I was a child and I thought to myself, well, that's interesting, the water doesn't work, right? So I open it and I thought I want to see what happens when in the morning they put the water on. Will it be running? You're curious, very
Right.
curious. And so in the morning, we used to sleep a lot. And so at 10 o'clock in the morning, we were woken up by the neighbors, and we got out of bed and we were till over our ankles in the water because there were still dishes in. The water couldn't run away, so it run all over the sink
Oh,
and
good
it went
Lord.
straight in the whole apartment. But the worst part was that my mom had to throw all that water out from that apartment, and all these people from these Spaniards, they were all watching like
I
and
bet.
and cursing because all that water, liters and liters of water, just out of the balcony down. And I didn't dare tell my mom till years and years later that I was the one that opened the tap. But so yeah, I learned also the hard way.
I
But
can't even imagine.
yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine. I mean, I went to California for a week and I left my shower dripping which I had to pay for later, but like it wasn't even a thought to me. Like, but that kind of a waste of water,
Yeah.
that's really crucial in some places.
Well, I've never wasted much water anyway, but yeah, and we do that here. Kind of, we're very conscious in Holland anyway, even with the trash, everything is separated. It's just an automatic thing here. But yeah, and even the toilet, you have this little button and you have the bigger button, so the smaller button,
Right.
so it's less water. And yeah, I'm always automatically thinking of it.
I don't know.
And
I think we're getting better in this country, but like I know personally, those kinds of things never even occurred to me.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
hear it, but it doesn't compute. I'm like,
yeah. Because it's
I need to
so
run my
normal.
dishwasher. Like I need to
I don't even
separate
have
my
one.
clothes. I need to
Yeah, I think it's all waste, waste, waste. So and that's what we have already ingrained in Holland, really. You know, don't do this, don't do that, lights off, And so sometimes then I have a guest and they sleep with the lights on, and I'm like, who does that? You know?
I
And
know some people that sleep with lights on for sure.
yeah. And so for me, there's all waste of energy. I don't have a dishwasher. Well, I'm alone, so why would I have a dishwasher? But like in America, apparently that's like totally normal.
Yeah, I'd be livid if I mean, I do hand wash dishes if it's just me, but I have nieces and nephews and people coming in and out all the time. They come here
Yeah,
just to
okay.
eat and then they want to leave their dishes. I'm not washing all that. I put it right in the dishwasher. Like, you
Yeah,
guys clean up after yourselves. Don't leave it for me to do. At least
yeah, yeah.
sometimes they'll rinse it and then put it in the dishwasher, which
So
is
so
fine.
where else have you been?
Um, well, I travel all over the US all the time. I just came back I was out in Northern California last week, not last week, week before last week, for
Yeah.
about a week for work. I'm from New Orleans, which is a place that, that's a different place in and of itself. It's really an interesting place. I don't know if you ever make it this way. It's probably the most European US city that I can think of.
Yes. That's
There's a
that's a
great,
place I would love to go because obviously
yes.
I've seen it in pictures. There's obviously it's
Oh,
famous for the music and for these that festival they have.
Mardi Gras. Yeah.
Yes. So
There's all kinds of festivals. That's just the one that gets all the news.
yeah, I'd love to go there, absolutely, because it's so different from whatever else there is in the US, right?
Yes, there's a great diversity of culture there. I mean, New Orleans itself was at one time a Spanish city, at one time a French city. The
Yes.
Americans then took it. Like it's and you can tell, you can see the architectural influence, you can see the influence as far as food and even
Yeah.
street names. I mean, it's very
Also the
different.
language, right?
Yes, we've got like Cajun Creole,
Yeah.
mestizo culture. There's, they're pidgin. Some people speak a form of pidgin. It's very different.
Yeah, I see Chef Matt is here and he is also from New Orleans.
What up?
Yeah.
Right? Nola in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And
different place.
yeah, and I find it interesting because I've been obviously always interested in language, and so when I was started in this whole community and having so much contact with Americans, I wanted to know about the languages and everything. And everybody was always talking about the southern, and I'm like, what is that? So I looked it all up, and then there's some woman that actually explains it all so well, and what influences they all have, and really interesting. I found that really interesting. Well, and the same obviously for the Dutch part, that we talked about with Cologero, and so yeah, I mean, I found those things always interesting. So you have been then traveling, but at the same time. You were also in the truth movement, obviously, and doing your research. And so, how did you get into the truth movement to begin with?
Um, Man, I had a literal come to Jesus moment. I mean, as far as
Yeah.
research goes, I have always been, I'm a nerd. I'm not gonna lie. Like I ended up sticking with school. I have a master's degree. I have seen that through, and um, was at some point planning to get my doctorate in journalism. I still may, I don't know, but I was always interested in current events, foreign policy, US domestic policy. Like I pay attention to what's going on around me all the time. And then I'm obviously a conspiracy nut, hence loyal to the foil. A lot of people think that's some kind of drug reference. I'm talking about tinfoil hats, just to make that clear.
Yeah.
Um, like, I mean,
Oh,
I was old school, like Art Bell, like I used back in the day. Yes,
yes,
right.
me
We
too.
have kind of we're trying to do a little throwback with Conspiracy Couch now, where
Yes.
people can call in and talk.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah, that's true. You guys started that, and so every Thursday they have the conspiracy couch. That's the new form of Art Bell. Gotta
we're
check it out. Last
right.
week there was the RNC, so Trump was
Yeah,
speaking, so lots of people missed it, but it's awesome. So anybody that has a great story to tell, you have to watch that on Thursday, right?
Thursdays at not 10,
10,
10.
10,
Yeah,
10
I don't even
p.m.
know.
10 p.m. EST, and you gotta check it out because it's on 1 Foot in 5D as well. So and let me check. Let me share the link again there. And so yeah, because you were also you have an interesting story about your life. So where did you exactly? Yeah.
Well, I've known for a long time that what we're told is not even a part of the truth, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I could feel that innately, I guess. But I mean, even then, just through research and through travel, like it became apparent that, I mean, we were in fact just outright being lied to.
Yes.
I mean, by the media, by the talking heads on TV, in the even in the wording and the way they write their policies and laws here, you could see it was some bullshit.
Yeah.
And but I really didn't know what to do about it. At the time, and I'm sure a lot of us can say this, I wasn't always an upstanding citizen. I was kind of just out there doing my thing, whatever. And
No, none of us were. I mean,
right.
if I look in this community, I mean, there are so many people with a bad past, but the whole point of that is that we learn from it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then do something with what you've learned.
Exactly.
Don't just let it
That's
die.
how it happened for me as well. I've done a lot of bad things, and yeah, should I regret that? Of course, but you can always learn from it and turn back, and that's the whole point. If you not learning from it, well, then something is wrong, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you really got a problem if you don't learn when you take knocks to the head. Like at some point, you need to pick up on the
Ah,
message the universe is sending you for sure. And
exactly.
I did, thank God, because even though I recognize these things, like I said, I didn't really know what to do about it, and I was out there doing my own thing anyway. And you know, then I took a total loss. I had a brand new car I had paid for in cash. I totaled it. I was hurt badly. Um,
Why?
and
What happened? Because where were you? What? Well,
I was driving like an idiot. There's a lot of things I don't really want to go into too much detail on, but
hmm
I had an accident. It was really bad. I lost my car completely like an idiot. I, of course, wasn't paying insurance on it because I thought I was going to be fine. Yeah, at the time, which is,
yeah.
it's all good now. But in any case, um, well, while I was trying to recover from that, my house got robbed. Like it was a whole big string of bad things. I took a total loss. And in any case, I died, literally died.
In that
Um,
crash.
in the crash, actually following the crash, but that's a whole yeah, right then I had an experience. And where I went there was no light. I did not go to the light. I didn't see a lake of fire either, but it was terrifying. It was probably the most terrifying experience I've had in my life. And I mean, it was like I was a consciousness alone in a horrible void, and there was nothing
Wow.
else, like literally nothing else. And
I know that feeling. Well,
when I came to, I didn't know it at the time. Now I realize what had happened. I felt like the darkness left me. I don't know. I felt like my eyes, something was ripped off my eyes. Like I could see. And this was a literal come to Jesus moment for me, because I knew that's who was there comforting me when I was trying to figure out what was going on. I could hear it and feel him and his presence and his light. And it was a very defining moment for me.
but this
And
was when you woke up.
Yes, when I came back or woke
Yeah.
up, whatever it was, I still don't even know how to explain what it was that happened because that was crazy.
So
But
when you went there to that place, it's just dark and you're there
there was
alone.
nothing.
With,
Yeah. I
with
don't even know that you could define it as dark because it wasn't like you could see. It was just nothingness. You knew,
whoa,
like I knew, like I still had, I don't even know how to explain it. I knew that I was there and I knew that if I was there, like that was gonna be an infinity of
nothingness.
void. Yeah, like but with consciousness. I don't know, like being locked in a coffin or something. I don't even know how else to.
Like buried alive almost.
Yes, kind of.
Because
It was
I
horrifying.
know that feeling because this is where my whole anxiety came from. That feeling was exactly what I had when, because people explain like a panic attack, but for me, that is the feeling that happens to me when I go in a panic. It's that complete. I mean, I don't register anything anymore. It's so scary. So obviously that yeah, and I compared with other stories, and most people they eventually get out of it, but for me it's so terrifying. So I know the feeling that you must have had there, but then also, like you say, dark, not no voice, no nothing. There was
It
only
was
your,
horrible.
there was only your thoughts.
Yeah, it was. It was just thought and it was terrifying. But then when I came back or came to or whatever, it was like, I don't know, it was like rebirth. And I mean, from that minute, I changed everything. I literally moved to a different city. I changed my phone number. I changed my social media platform. I changed the music I listened to and the people I talked to and the movies
Oh,
that I watched. I changed what I fed my soul because that's what was coming out.
yeah.
It became very clear to me. And then I knew that I needed to help other people wake
Wow.
up, I guess. I don't know.
That's
That's what I'm trying to do.
that's super powerful. I mean, like, so you did you physically see Jesus or did you just feel
I
it?
heard him. I felt him. I knew, I just innately knew that that's who it was. I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it. And I've studied, I've studied the Quran. I followed law of one. I was
Mhm.
like of the universal mindset for a long time. And I don't do the judging thing because the one thing I'm pretty sure is clear is that that's not my place,
Yeah.
you know, but that's what I experienced. And it's really been a great guidance for me now. And especially trying to find ways to approach people that maybe don't have their mind open to any of that. Because if you are in a dark place, sometimes it is very hard to see the light,
Oh
you know.
yes. Oh yes, I know that. I know that very well. And so, but I mean that feeling that you have that instant uh change and then so
Mhm.
radical,
Yeah,
that
it
must
was.
that must be amazing to
It was like a layer came off. Like and I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't realize it until later, but I had some kind of a negative attachment, a negative entity attachment or something because when I came back or came to, I felt, and this is why I also say that I knew in my heart it was Jesus because that's
yes.
who I was asking for and I felt that thing get ripped from me,
Wow.
if that makes sense.
Oh yes, because I
Almost like
bet
it came up out of my back. I don't even know how to explain it, but it
that's
was.
it. The back. It's the back.
Yes, like
I
it
had
like somebody pulled something out of my spine, I guess. I
yes.
don't know. That's what it felt like. And it was nuts. Like I didn't understand on a whole level for a while what
Aw.
exactly it was that I was dealing with. Um but I am so much better for it now. And now I just
Yeah.
want to help however I can, wherever I can.
Wow. Wow, that's so powerful. Thank you so much, Whitehead. Much love, Keystone and Loyal.
Aw. Whoop
Uh,
whoop.
thank you for your donation. And I'm happy that you're here. So and then after that you started moving on into the truth movement?
Well, it was a progression.
Because
I had to physically remove myself from the environment because I did not want to be, I mean, that
oh,
part seemed just logical. Like if you don't want to be covered in shit, you better get out of the shithole.
yes,
Pardon my not quite French, but you know what I mean. Like, so
yeah,
I
we
had to
speak
remove
French here all the
myself.
time.
And then I went into a period of like serious seclusion, which is oddly enough when Alara met me. I was
Really?
yes, I had a little apartment and I really didn't I've always worked from home.
Yeah,
Not always, but since I've decided to be an agent of the light, I've worked from home. So it wasn't, I mean, so I was working at home and I didn't really go out. As a matter of fact, I kind of resonate with what you said. I didn't want to go outside.
no.
I very rarely left. And
Yeah, it can be comfortable there because then,
mhm,
because I remember when I had that experience with Eric Rains, and obviously I had the agoraphobia, but and now at this moment I felt actually very good, and I was very comfortable at home. The same, you know. And so you stick it there, and you try to, you just contemplate with yourself at those moments, right?
absolutely. And that's what I needed was a long period of introspection. And it helped. It helped me to organize my thoughts and my plan for the future and where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. I ended up leaving the state. I'm back down south now, and I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, you recently moved, right?
Yeah, not too long ago. Yeah, I moved from Ohio. Like I said, I'm back in the south now, which is a great place to be at this moment in this country, particularly. Uh,
Yes, I heard. There are many in the chat living in the same state that
yeah,
you are living.
I'm getting feedback, and I see they're hearing it too.
Oh no, are we there again?
I think so.
Okay, still?
I'm still hearing it.
Pull the plug. Are you hearing me?
I hear you.
Okay.
Is it my mic? Can you
No,
guys hear?
no, my stupid mic there is broke. I need a new one. It doesn't plug in well.
I gotcha.
Okay.
I thought it was I've been having all these. I have, oddly enough, kind of in line of what we were talking about. There are some things in my house. Some of you might have heard me talk about this,
Yeah.
but they tend to affect electronics specifically. Oddly
Oh,
enough,
really?
yes. But I just assumed it was my glitches, not your
No,
glitches.
no, no. I had it I had it the other day as well. And so, yeah, the thing is just broke, and I think it is something with the USB. Anyway, this is better. And so hang on, because okay. So,
Oh yeah, Alara says she heard my ghosts. It's nuts. I had to have a team come into my house.
oh
I
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Like I was thinking at first that it might have been that thing that was attached to me, like kind of I don't know, hanging out, waiting for his
wait.
way back in. Like I don't know.
How did Alara hear them? She was at yours
Oh,
place?
today I finally got the report from the Paranormal Society that came in. They had emailed me a Dropbox with all these files, and so of course, naturally, I sent it to Alara. Sent it to
So,
Alara so she could
wait,
hear.
she heard it. Is that because she was there?
No, they send me audio files. Like they
Oh,
set up, yeah, they had set up all this equipment in my house. And they were here for a while. They were here for, I don't know, like 8 hours maybe, or five
right.
hours. They set up at night and they came in and they brought in a medium and did the walkthrough and the whole 9 yards. And like I had been having experiences here and I thought maybe it was that thing at first. Now I don't think that. Now I think it's something else entirely.
What do you
And
think it is?
I think it's something that was never human that's here. That's just, well, there are multiple things in my house. Let me make that clear. There are things here that cause no problem. My mother hangs out here all the time. Alara heard those videos. I mean, she literally said her name and stuff to them when they
Really?
asked who it was. Her mother, Patty, yeah, like put it all out there. And but
Wow.
there's something else that's here and it kind of sucks because when the team was here, I didn't know this until today, but apparently one of the guys dropped an SD card with
Right.
a lot of the data on it. My dad had brought one into me like the day after they left. I thought it was my niece's boyfriend, so I put it to the side. I never even looked at it because the name was the same. Well, the guy tells me today, he was like, we did what we could. We wrote up what we could. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, concrete evidence, this, that, the other, whatever. And the files that he sent me, he said, there's more, but it's on this SD card we lost. And I told him, I was like, oh my God, it's here. I'm like, I have it here. I said, I don't want to open it in the event that somebody else, because they made me sign all these like agreements, as far
Yeah.
as they wouldn't disclose my information, this, that, the other. I figured it was probably the same for the other people and it would be shady for me to open it. The guy told me, no, it's all right. There's nothing else on there. If you want to go ahead and look through it, look through it. Like he said, when we have somebody in your area again, because I guess they're really busy, he said, I'll have somebody come by and grab it.
Really?
Apparently they go out on these calls all the time. Like they serve the entire state where I'm at. So they're
Whoa.
all
But
over the
is
place.
that is there maybe like you think it has something to do also the dark versus light that
Yeah,
it
I do. I think the veil is getting very thin and it's very easy for these things to make contact.
yes.
And, you know, I'll just tell you the story. When I moved into this house, I came down here from Ohio and yeah, ET phone home, right? I
Yeah.
let I let my
w-
niece move in with me. She needed a place to be. And
Yeah.
so she was living here with me and I had left for like 2 weeks. And when I came back, she started telling me, she was like, Auntie, she was like, I think the landlord is coming in the house. I said, what? She said, it has to be somebody with a key. She's like, we leave, we'll lock the doors. She's like, we come back and stuff is moved or missing. And like, she's like, I don't know. She was like, it has to be him coming in the house. I'm like, as a kid, listen, the landlord's not coming in the house, but just in case he is, I put up cameras everywhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him. I'll never pay rent again. It'll be great. I said, I'm putting up these cameras. I'll see. Well, it wasn't the landlord.
Oh my
So
gosh.
then,
Well, go into detail, please. Actually, wait for that. Hi, Nicole. Have to say hi. And then Leo, thank you, Rook, for your ET phone home donation. Leo said something interesting here, and I believe that may be the case as well. Is that what if I tell you ghosts are not ghosts? It's actually parallels intertwining in ours, and that could make sense since the veil is getting thinner as well. And
oh, that's entirely possible.
well, it can be both, right?
I would imagine. I mean, I get the distinct impression that some of the things that are trapped here are that they are trapped here. As a matter of fact, one of the things they kept saying over and over and over was the word prison. Like it, and
I know somebody that actually has these ghosts coming to him and they are all trapped and they want to get out. So he helps them to the other side.
well, one of the creepiest parts was that when they were doing a spirit box back in my bedroom,
What does that mean?
there it's a device where I guess it's got a database of words and it translates their energy into words, I think.
Wow.
It's the craziest thing. But obviously it works because it was able to say my mother's name very clearly and distinctly and very specifically on several occasions, and then other things too, like in response to the questions, which was crazy. When the lady, the medium was asking whatever was in my room, are you trapped here? And they would say prison. And she would say, do you see the light? You need to go to the light. And then clear as day. And the dude was like, the light is a lie. And I said, oh my God.
No way.
Right. I just thought David Icke immediately. I'm like, oh, here we go. Soul
Hey,
trap
Rhonda
light
talked about
story.
that.
Right. I was terrified. Like, oh no, whatever that is gotta go. Like, I don't mind sharing space with
So,
energies.
so
Like,
how do they get rid of them? Or
well, the one thing I was talking about that I said that I think has never been human. The reason I say that is because it choked my dog. I have a I have like an 80, maybe 90-pound big ass pit bull, right? My dog goes with me everywhere. When I go to bed at night, I bought this dog a bed and everything. He wants to sleep right on my bed.
you
Well,
have protection, huh?
man, he'd be in here right now if I didn't have the door closed. But I started noticing that like days in a row, we'd go to bed and he'd be cool for a minute and then his head would jerk and he would look and there's a corner in my room and he would start barking at this corner and then watching, right? And then it got worse to where he would be up barking at the corner in my room, literally trying to climb the walls, like jumping. And I'm like, what the shit is going on in here? Like, I don't know how to deal with this. Well, the one day he's doing that. first he's on my bed, he's barking, then he's growling, which I'm like, oh man, that can't be good, right? So he jumps up and he starts trying to get up the wall, and then he's like he's choking, and then he starts yipping and he runs out of the room. And I thought, oh my God, this is not good in any way, shape, or form.
And so, and what happened
So,
to it?
well, that day I happened to grab my camera and I caught orbs, so many orbs. Only at that point, by the time I got up, as a matter of fact, what I did was I got up, I grabbed the sage, I started burning it and telling anything of the darkness to get out of my house. This is my house. It's got to leave. It's not welcome here in the name of Jesus, like doing all that, right?
Exactly.
I go back in there, right? I'm about to lose it. Like I just watched my big ass guard dog start choking. Like something's got to be done here. So I grab the sage.
Wow.
I didn't. Okay, I half-assed smudged my house. I just wanted to be able to lay down with some peace. I knew it wouldn't come back in the room that night. Whatever, I was cool. The dog comes back in, and now he's kind of like walking around the room, and it wasn't a dark energy. He was like playing with something. So I grab my phone and I start recording, and I can't see it in front of me, but you can see it on the video.
Wow.
Orbs coming in and out of the closet. I mean, like very distinct, not dust flakes or bugs I mean, this was balls of light.
I never thought of doing that when I had that in my house, the other house. I never thought of actually filming and thinking that
Listen, I
I
didn't
wish
think
I
I
would
would
have
see
done that
anything.
because
I don't know.
my cats would all the time, have the same.
They see things. Animals
My cat always
definitely see
reacted.
things.
Yeah,
But it was Alara's seen that video too. It was crazy. And I
I
mean,
want to see it too.
I'll send it to you. This was very distinct. I mean, very
But this
distinct.
was
And
good.
yeah,
Good.
this was there was I could feel the change in the energy in the room after I smudged. And he came back in the room voluntarily and hopped right back up on my bed. So it was fine. But then he got up and I was just trying to film him playing with this thing, running around. And then when I realized I could see the balls of light, I was like, holy shit. I sent it to the paranormal people. They got back with me the next day, like, we want to schedule to come out. Da 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 da. I said, yes, please. Because I told him, I said, this right here on the video, that's fine. I said, what happened directly before that video, I was like, yeah, definitely have somebody come out here because it's clearly beyond my skill set, you know.
Wow.
And they did, and so I finally got the report today. And like I said, I sent the audio clips to Alara and stuff. It was crazy. It was
Wow.
definitely a crazy,
There are many
crazy
then. Is
story.
there some sort of a portal maybe as well?
That crossed my mind too. But I know that my mother hangs around. There are some others that gave names, and I don't know if they included the audio clips for that or if it's on that SD card that I found. But there's more than just one thing. There are multiple things here. Like I said, the one thing is the only one I'm concerned about. And I
Yeah.
don't feel that recently, but I thought for a while maybe it was that attachment. Now I think that was something that was here.
Yeah. But it can be multiple things, obviously.
For sure.
What did Leo says something here again? Where you think the word alcohol comes? Yeah,
Yeah, I
spirit.
was just reading that too.
It's going to the.
Spirits meaning liquor. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's true because alcohol is really bad for that sort that invites it. Really, I heard that somebody could see it that you can actually see them above somebody is really drunk, for
Well,
example.
I know some absinthe. You might see some things. That's crazy. I don't know. It decreases inhibition. So I would imagine that it also decreases your inhibition to ignore the things around you that maybe your body reads energetically naturally, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, I think also your energy is open then to actually
Yes.
to invite demons and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, in your case, you have like multiple things going on. So you say there, well, whether ghost or whatever it is, but also alien kind of.
Well, definitely alien energy. Why did Alara say something about my alien experience?
No, I'm
Oh,
asking.
well, I did have
And
it.
since we're in this movement, everybody had an experience, so it would be weird actually if you didn't, except for me though.
Right.
But yeah,
Well, I had one of those terrifying sleep paralysis
I have
incidents.
one that
Oh
is
my God.
scary. That is
That
so
was the worst. That was the worst. Thought, one of the discussions that Alara and I have all the time, and we kind of agree to see differently on, is that I think the interdimensional beings are probably minions of the devil. And I say that because when I had my sleep paralysis incident and I saw that thing and I couldn't even get my mouth to move. Like
I
I
had
couldn't,
the same.
I was struggling to get a word out. And the word that finally came out of my mouth was Jesus. And then once the first word came, the rest of it came in the name of Jesus. And I'm telling you, it stopped. It stopped immediately. It stopped dead in its tracks. The whole experience stopped,
Yeah.
and I didn't think much of it at the time.
I heard that
I mean, I
many times.
did, but I didn't realize that other people had the same experience.
Mm.
And then when I started really looking into the phenomenon, I realized that there were people that were having the same sort of thing where they thought it was possibly going to be some kind of an abduction scenario. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that when they called on the name of Jesus, it worked. And oddly enough, calling
I heard
on other things did not work. There was power in his name.
that's true because I heard that many times from people that actually did the same and that used that, as
Yeah.
uh,
And I mean, it was years before I connected the pieces that those two things, because like I said, I thought I didn't really pay attention to it at the time, but then when I started looking into it again and I realized that's what made it stop
yeah, yeah.
and that
I
other
would do
people
the
had the same experience, then it kind of clicked. I was like, oh, okay.
yes, yeah. So, that was in this house where you are now.
No. This was, God, I don't know, 15 years ago
Wait,
when
but
that happened.
no, but where you get the files from today?
Oh, yeah, that's here. That's where I live now.
So you
Yes.
lived in multiple places where that happened.
Oh, I've had problems for a long time. Yeah.
So are you saying that it's with you that it's
No, not anymore. I mean, okay, when I had the sleep paralysis incident, that was probably 15 years ago. That was in an entirely different place, an entirely different state.
right?
The stuff that's going on, the attachment, that was also when I woke up, when I died and had that experience, that was in a different state. I
Right.
live now in another place, and the house itself, I think, is haunted. But I do think my mother hangs out. She goes with me wherever I'm at. And I've had numerous, it doesn't matter where I'm at, I know she's around. I mean,
Right.
just little things, just, just the weirdest little things. And I know that it's her, a
That's
certain
kind of
picture.
cool, though. I always
Well,
with
certain pictures that she'll knock the actually just one picture that she knocks off the wall all the time that I came to understand that was her. Like, it took a while, but whatever was in this house that I'm dealing with now was here before I got here.
yeah, but do they interfere with each other?
Apparently they definitely recognize each other, because when we were doing the spirit box thing back in my bedroom, the ones that were back there, the energy was fine, they were super chatty, everything was fine. And then you could physically feel a change in the energy in the room, and the box said he's coming. And
Yeah.
then the investigators start asking, who's coming, who's coming, who's coming? And then they would say death, 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 which came through really crystal clear. That was one of the audio files they included. And
Well, what did they mean?
I don't know. I think whatever is holding them here is what they were referring to when they said he's coming. But all I can tell you is that the energy changed. Everybody in the room felt it. And that shit was terrifying.
So are these people like kind of in a hell or something? Like,
I think they may be stuck. I do think they may be stuck, or maybe some of them chose to stay and now they're lost. Like, maybe
you
they
know,
can't.
made me think of that movie with Robin Williams when what's it called?
Oh God, he
Where
had
his
like
wife
800 movies.
where his wife is dead because she killed herself, and then she gets also in this dark place. And
You better ask the chat. I'm clueless on that. I keep thinking of that movie where he was the clown at the hospital? Like, I don't.
No,
I
no.
have no idea which Robin Williams
What
movie.
Dreams May Come. What Dreams May Come was the movie, and what happens is that she actually kills herself, and then she winds up in sort of a hell, and so then he tries to find her, and it's vaguely, but I can't remember anymore. But that is exactly how I always um, um, imagined it, So they are just stuck; they can't get out.
Yeah,
But
I
then,
think that's kind of the feeling that I get from some of these things. Yeah.
and what I read in books like. Uh, Funny enough, because I was talking about these books like the Buseji Mountains, there is also apart from a Tibetan
The
like
Tibetan Book of
monk.
the Dead.
No. This is from the series that is regarding that Romania story I was talking about with
Oh,
Leland.
with Leonidas. Yeah, I heard that.
And so there is the one that is about yeah, this monk, and he says that if somebody, for example, kills themselves, they do get into this dark place where they can stay in our time for hundreds of years.
I think they trap themselves there. I
Yes.
think possibly their guilt traps
And
them there.
when I was in that period where I wanted to kill myself every day for 2 years long, I the thing that always stopped me was, what if I wind up in such a place, and then let's
Man,
say you
right?
have to do it all over again, and that is actually what also stopped me. But I do believe that people that do kill themselves, and that's what this monk says as well. And he says, well, if people do that, then you never allowed yourself to finish a cycle.
Right.
Uh, a karmic cycle, whatever it is. And then you get in this dark place, and you will stay there, like in our human years, that would be like a 300 years, whatever. And then you get out, and then you have to do it all over again.
All over again.
And I thought to myself, that's funny, because I've always thought it would be like that. And so that always kept me from not doing it, because then I thought, well, that would be worse than anything else, wouldn't it?
I wonder if I often find myself wondering if maybe hell is particular to the individual. Your mind state, or if you want to look at it, your frequency creates your own understanding of hell.
Yeah,
Hell is very personal to
true,
you.
true.
And maybe that's why I was in that void.
Yes, because that's what
I
makes you
don't know.
scary, you know. That's what scares you the most. So you probably get in there, you know. And I see Whitehead says I found a lot of, because he's able to see that as well. Yeah, suicide in cemeteries, and for example, my ex is dead, and he was very very spiritual and Indonesian, so they guide each other, like his mom guide his dad to the other side, and then he actually stayed around for another 10 days, and we got that through somebody else, that the paranormal, and he wanted to do that. Apparently that happens, and when I was in my house with these ghosts, I always felt my grandmother there as well. And since I moved, well, it was already before I moved, and then all of a sudden she was just gone. And that's when I knew she went wherever she
You're
goes.
ready to go. Yeah.
And so yeah, I do definitely believe there is much truth to these stories. I mean, obviously we cannot prove that, but it's very interesting. There are so many dimensions and stuff, things like that.
I
So
know when my mother died, everybody thought she had killed herself. They did. Just from medication. She was 100% medically disabled from the first Persian Gulf War, and they thought maybe she had just gotten tired or whatever. But after she died, she was always around. I mean, I could smell her.
yeah.
I could smell her. That picture I was talking about, how she would knock a certain picture, she was doing that. And at the time I was at my grandparents' house, and I was staying there until everything was done.
Uh-huh.
And that she kept knocking the same picture off the wall. So in frustration, I went and I found a psychic that I had seen several other people had mentioned, that I thought, if I'm going to waste some money, I'm going to go with somebody that at least has some good referrals. So I emailed this lady, and I didn't tell her anything. I mean, literally nothing. And when she responded back to me, she said, your mother is very adamant that I tell you she did not do this to herself. And I thought, oh, Lord Almighty. Like, I didn't say any of that. And she said she would come at night, and she says she rubs your cheek and she says something in Italian. And my mother used to do that to me all the time. Come si bella, and rub my cheek like this.
You
Yeah.
Italian?
Oh, I'm Italian. Yeah. Hence
You,
the
you
whole.
you speak Italian?
No, I do not speak Italian at all. My family does. I don't. But
Wow.
yeah, but I mean, that was just very specific information. But I knew she was around, and I don't think she's stuck here. I think she hangs around to see what's going on. Like,
Yeah, I had the same feeling with my grandmom. It was her choice, not that
yeah,
she,
right,
you
right.
know,
And I
and
think when she's ready, she'll go. You
well,
know.
that's exactly what happened because as soon as I started getting better, and before that, it was my uncle, and somehow I knew that she would just go through the whole family, whoever needed the guidance. And so at the time in that house, it was always like I would always like also pray for the ancestors and all that, But somehow I was calm, and I never thought I would be that calm with having these entities around, but. It was because I felt my grandmother so strong, and I knew she had the power to actually keep them away from me as well. And but that's interesting because it's just intuitively that
Right.
for me it was not that there were things that she would throw. It was just like almost hearing her voice in my head you know and then all of a sudden everything went better with me, and boom, poof, gone she was.
Just waited around to make sure you were okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing, yeah. So you said something about the Gulf War. What did your mom have to do with
She was
that?
a medic. She was in
Oh,
the army. She was in the US Army. She was a medic, and then she could still walk and stuff, but because of a series of events, she was deemed 100% medically disabled, and they had her on all, the VA, they had her on all kind of medication, and everybody just kind of assumed that maybe she just
mm,
got tired, or you
right.
know, I I don't know, but
But
she says she didn't do that to herself. So,
do you feel like you can communicate with, because if she's there around, then because
oh yeah, no, listen, I know when she's around, and I talk to her like I'll
oh,
talk to
lovely.
her only because I'm sure that that's her. Like
Okay.
there are instances where you want to be careful what you are talking to, because you might not be talking to what you think you're talking to. Test the
Yeah.
spirits. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all I can tell you. Like they will lie.
Yes.
But this particularly, like I said, there's a resonation with me, and I know that it's her. I
Exactly.
don't
It's a
I don't
frequency.
know how to, yeah, I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. Like I said, at first I could smell her, like
Wow.
smell her, like I just plain as day. Like,
I already said with my mom that if she passes, that she will come and visit me. And I said, and then you're going to do this and that. And she said, that's fine. I'm going to do that. And so we're very open about stuff like that, death and all. And but my stepdad uh, died last year, and so I don't know when it was, some months ago. Oh man, I had it again, the radio going on. It's not even plugged in, and just the radio starts going off in the middle of the night, smack in the middle, 4 o'clock.
I
Oh,
don't, they can interact with like electrical devices
it's amazing.
really well.
3 times I had it, but I knew immediately. I wasn't scared like what happened in my old house, but immediately I knew it was him. And so I go to their room, get out of my bed, put the thing off, and I said, "Ah, funny, don't do that at this hour. Then do it during the day or whatever." And boom, another time I got it, and it happened during the day. I didn't even tell my mom yet, but yeah, that happened. So and both of the time, same song. I felt a bit like
Right.
Groundhog Day, but yeah, weird, weird, weird. But immediately I knew it was good. Nothing,
Right.
and
You
that
can you
happened.
can sometimes sense. I mean, they can fool you. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that's you
but
kind of,
like,
yes, it's an
yeah,
energy, right? Because that's how I assess the situation, is always with my intuition and energy, not with my brain, because that doesn't work, right? So now that you've got these documents and everything, what they're going to do about it?
well, I mean, I guess that's up to me. They said that if I want to have them bring in somebody to cleanse the house, but I mean, I understand sharing space. Like I said, I'm from
Yeah,
New Orleans. There's not a whole lot of places you can go where you're not sharing space with, be it a being of energy or just the energy that has permeated the actual physical space, because that happens too. Like there's I don't know, like it holds an energetic memory.
yeah,
It's crazy. But so I don't have a problem with just sharing space. I mean,
no,
as long as there's not an issue. But there are things like my dad has been having an issue here with knocking on the door,
mm,
something calling his name, anything that can physically interact.
yes,
I tend to have a problem with. Like I don't need
yeah.
that here.
So the one that actually attacked your dog, right, or tried to choke it. So I mean, when they come by to cleanse that, will they then cleanse them all?
I don't know. I know that when I smudge the house, my specification is that anything that is not of the light needs to go.
Right,
And I
right.
don't know. I mean, I guess that would depend on who they would bring in. Like clearly, I would want, a pastor or a priest, somebody to come in and do things here. Like not that I'm judging. I wouldn't want like shamanic rituals or anything that might
Yeah,
doesn't align with my current belief system.
exactly. Yeah, you shouldn't do
So,
that.
but like yeah, I mean, as long as it's chill and cool, I
But
mean, I'm okay with that.
did that thing come back? The
Would
one that attacked your dog?
not since I smudged the house.
Oh,
But I did
okay.
that once before too, and it was about a month. It was about 3 weeks to a month before I had another incident. So I
Yeah.
mean, I
So
guess
it
we
is a
will see.
temporary thing because I know that.
I did a shoddy job. I just was trying to get some peace at the moment, and I try to, like, I bless the house. I pray over the house. I try to keep the energy good in the house. But like at the moment, my dad is here with me. He's living with me,
Right?
and he brings his own energy. So I'm working on that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, when you have other energies in your house,
Hmm.
yeah, that's I'm very familiar with that as
Yeah,
well.
that's another reason I went about a year. I didn't want to interact with anybody. Like I said, I was in
Yeah,
extreme isolation because I wanted to learn how to ground my own energy and to protect myself from the energies of people around me,
exactly.
which
Yeah.
apparently had been a problem for me in the past.
Yes.
It
Yes.
wasn't until I
Because you're
realized it that I was able to address it actually.
you're like a sponge as well, just like me.
Hmm.
I'm also I was like that, not anymore. Now I always, um, make sure that I'm protected
Yeah,
because
well, I'm very empathic, but now I know how to put that light of protection around myself and to keep
right,
myself in my own space, you know. But if
yeah,
I open myself up to it, I can be an emotional roller coaster because I feel everything, and
yeah,
it
yeah,
drives me nuts. It actually was making me crazy, I think, at some point. So
yeah, yeah. Well, it can make you crazy for sure, absolutely. And like that sleep paralysis, I had it one time, and that was so scary. I just couldn't move. I couldn't. I mean, that was terror,
wasn't it?
pure
Oh my
terror.
God, you can't, and you're trying to say something, anything, and your whole mouth won't even move,
You try to move, you can. You're like paralyzed.
like nothing. But you're awake. Like I knew I was awake.
Yes.
I knew it wasn't a dream. I knew I was awake. I
Yeah.
could see, but I couldn't move. I mean, it was like,
Mhm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like locked in
But
syndrome. Like it was horrible.
for how long was that for you? Because for me it was really short, but enough to
Oh
freaking
God. I don't,
freak me
maybe,
out.
I don't know, maybe less than a minute.
Yes, yes, yes. For me too.
Something, it felt like forever.
Yeah, yeah, because
But in reality, yeah, it felt like forever. But in reality, I think the whole thing had to have been maybe a minute, maybe a minute and 15 seconds. It couldn't have been any, it couldn't have been as long as I thought I felt
yeah,
like it was.
yeah, indeed. I know that.
Yeah, that was
So
crazy.
are you gonna share the footage one day or
Oh yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I think, yeah, I don't, that wouldn't hurt. I don't see why not. Maybe I'll put some of it up on my Twitter feed.
or
You
maybe
know.
you can share it at the conspiracy couch.
Oh, maybe I can share it on
It's a
Conspiracy
great
Couch.
place
I'll
to
have to
do it.
consider that. Yeah, right. That'd be a perfect place for it.
So Whitehead is going live at 9 p.m.
Oh, well, we better
and
get over there. What
well,
time is
it's
it?
not time yet, but yeah, that's going to be fun. He's always doing the prayers. I love that. And are you always there, or no? Not always, right?
I'm there sometimes. Like I caught his last show. It's kind of off and on. I work like 15 hours a day
Oh
most of
yeah,
the time.
sure. You work a lot,
Most of the time, yeah. It's
right?
crazy.
So, well, I love this talk, and I want to again tell everybody to go watch the Space Force News and Conspiracy Couch on
Space Force
Thursday.
and Conspiracy Couch.
Yes,
Please
yes,
come
yes.
and join us. All
Actually,
are
yeah.
welcome.
I already put the link actually in the description from the video that you did yesterday with the Space Force, and I want well, so people can find it immediately. And I will also well, I share the channel anyway, and then on Thursday at 10 p.m. EST, which is really late for me. It's 4 a.m. in the
Oh,
morning.
good Lord.
Yeah, good Lord, you live in the
Right?
south.
I do. I do.
But yeah, so I really enjoy this talk because you have like an interesting life. I don't hear that much with Americans that have traveled and done stuff like that. And of course, the ghost and alien stories are always cool.
Right.
And so many people in this movement have experience with that, right?
Absolutely. That's
And
good though. I mean, like I said, the veil is thinning. People's eyes are opening. They're coming to the light, so to speak. I can't ask for anything else.
yeah, I do believe that, like we said before, that it's the whole dark to light thing must play a part as well, or on different levels,
Oh,
right?
I think when we hear that, they mean that very literally.
Yes.
Very literally.
Well, was it today methods that had also spiritual attacks? Apparently, well,
Oh, I saw that.
he didn't
Asking
go
for
into
prayers,
detail. Yeah,
spiritual warfare is real. Absolutely.
but yeah,
No.
many people and people that are agitated and stuff like that, you just
Mhm.
know. So we need to all pay attention to this because
Hey, our
um,
favorite Anon tells us to put on the armor of the Lord.
exactly. And I think it's going to be only more and more from here on out because
Oh, no doubt.
as you can see with the Schumann resonance that I will be covering soon.
Space weather girl. Whoop whoop.
I'm going to be the space weather girl. It's going to be so much fun.
That'll be great.
I can't wait for it. We're gonna make it very, very cool. And let me see if there's actually people that have a question for you. Um, yeah, Brad says, "Rip the veil open so we can kick these demons' asses by the dozens."
Amen.
Amen. What else do we have? Very wonderful experience and love her even more. Thank you, Love by the Moon. Love by the Moon had some terrifying experiences as well. I made a video with that, and there is also a video in there that I share what happened in her house, and that was really, really scary.
Oh, good Lord.
Like really violent ghosts, and
Oh,
yeah,
that's never good.
that was also attacking her physically and her dog as well.
That's what I worry about. That's what I worry about, up the progression. I got to get that taken care of for sure.
Well, yeah, because and then animals are so sensitive to it already. And Regina is thanking me for a great guest. Yes, I'm tinfoil.
Whoop whoop.
It's not tinfoil. It's loyal to the foil.
So yeah, I think she called me that yesterday, or somebody did. Said I saw a comment somewhere that said, "I'm sorry for calling you tinfoil." Hey,
Patricia
it's all
is
right.
also under attack, I see. So it's good that we have White Hat today is doing his prayers because seriously, I feel we all need it. And get some protection around us. And now that we're with so many, it only makes it stronger and stronger
I
because
agree. It
as
multiplies. The energies multiply by
look at
factors exponential.
like everybody prayed for the Punisher, and look at his recovery like that, so quickly, and after two, you know, surgeries, heart surgeries, no less.
Right.
So yeah, that's amazing how all these prayers actually have such an impact, and so we need to keep doing that. We can't do it enough, I guess. So hey, Grandpa C, good to see you there. So we're soon going to move to Whitehead. I hope I all will see you there. I will see you all there. And we're going to see you on Thursday again with the conspiracy
Thursday
couch.
at
Oh,
10.
actually, can you actually share it on Thursday there?
Yeah, you know what? I'll talk to her. I'll see if we can bring it. Like she has to. I'll send. She has the files. I don't see why not. She knows how to play them through the
Yeah, that would
OBS.
be
Yeah,
so
I'm
awesome.
okay with that.
Yeah,
We'll put the
cool.
report up and we'll go through it if you guys want to come check it out.
Yeah,
You
and
guys can
anybody
hear.
has a crazy awesome story for the conspiracy couch, call in there.
Yeah, it's live call-in show. Holler at us.
Yeah, live call in a la Art Bell. It's what is it, 1 hour or
Oh
depends on.
gosh, I don't know. Yeah, we were trying to keep Space Force to around an hour, hour and a half. Conspiracy Couch was just we were there for like 2.5 hours, I think.
Oh, great! I
Just as
didn't
long,
know
yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah, we
yeah,
were there for a while.
I make sure I have enough sleep, and I'm gonna be there for sure. And yeah, anybody that has a great story, go there on Thursday and call in because really we want to hear some nice, juicy, great stories or scary. It doesn't really matter.
We hear it all.
Yes, I love that. And so, yeah, I'm going to see you there. I'm going to see you soon at the space station, news station. You guys will beam me up for the
We will beam
news,
you up for the
for,
news. We
for the
certainly
weather.
will. And thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you to your lovely crew here.
Yes.
I
Uh,
appreciate the feedback.
well, you and Alara are doing great over there. And now people got to know you as well a bit. So
Woohoo!
at least, yeah, woot woot. Hoo hoo.
Right.
You and Alara always say that. It's so funny. So, you guys, I thank you so much all for being here. I'm going to see you all on the other side at White Hats, and we're going to close you all off. So, hang on. Let me. Okay, there it is. So, thank you all. Good night, and see you all around, my sisters and brothers. Peace out and done.
Are we off?